Alright, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this Friday, sunny morning, July 3rd, 2020. It's about 9:20. I want to say happy 4th of July to everybody, all my meanies out there in meanie land. I hope you guys are enjoying your 3-day weekend if you're lucky enough to get one. I am, so I'm super excited and looking forward to the 4th of July. Yesterday was my wife's birthday. We had a lovely day. We went to the park. We let our little 3-year-old run around and be crazy and chase bubbles. And my wife and I went to a wonderful breakfast. And then we had a really nice dinner at the local Japanese place. So it was a wonderful day. Everything is going great in Mr. Mean's world. I hope your world is just as good. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way to start off. We are going, I can't think. I'm on MeWe. There's links on my YouTube page. Go ahead and click on the little 3 dots there in the upper right-hand corner. That'll bring you to my social media page. I'm on MeWe. I'm on PayPal PayMe, John Polak. You can send a donation there. Also on ZellyPay to jpolak@gmail.com. That's JPOLACK@gmail.com. As I'm not yet monetized by YouTube, so I don't make any money off of these videos except what my gracious donations from you guys send, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I have some awesome followers out there, and I thank you guys for every donation you send. Goes right back into the channel, so I appreciate it very much. Also, like and subscribe. Obviously, tell your friends. This is a very conversational video. I just sit and talk about the RPG stuff that I have. As you can see, the giant bookshelf back there is about 8 feet tall, about 5 feet wide. It is chock full of RPG goodness, and I have a bunch of box over here. So every week I put up 1 to 2 videos, and we talk about the latest RPGs that I'm into. Some indie, some top of the line. You know, it's just whatever happens to spark me. I tend to buy a lot of books, and for various reasons. I use them for resources in other games. I run the games, whatever. I've been a GM for 30 years. You know, and my Pathfinder 2nd edition game just started back up. I'm very excited about that. And my in-house campaign that's running here at my house. I think I just said that. Anyway, I hope everybody, you know, if you enjoy your time here, if you enjoy it, give that thumbs up, and you know, hit the bell to be dinged when I dong. I always put notes down in the doobly-doo to some kind. If nothing else, it's links to my Discord and my social media and that kind of thing. So I do have a Drive-Thru RPG affiliate link, so definitely feel free to use that. It's right down there at the bottom of the screen. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it actually kicks back a little bit to me. I tend to buy a lot of stuff through Drive-Thru RPG, so it helps support the channel. So with that out of the way, we're going to talk about 2 things today. First, we're going to talk about Fantasy Sights and Scenes by Phillip Reed. Awesome book. Big shout out to Brian, my buddy Brian. This was a birthday present. My birthday was back in June, and so he sent me that. And then we're gonna do a little flip through, and we'll talk about the Pathfinder Bestiary number 2 just came out. But first and foremost, I have to give a shout out to my new subscribers. And we're up to like 709 meanies in the Army. So I appreciate each and every one of you. But I want to give a shout out to Larry Hott. Larry was a former subscriber. I guess either he desubscribed, he decided to resubscribe. Either way, Larry, I'm happy to have you back. He's always posted on videos and made comments and stuff. He's a valued member of the Meanie Army. William Sullivan, he joined 4 days ago. Thank you, William. Let's see. Tom Dennison, thank you, sir. Thanks for subscribing. Fajuk Enterprises, another one who had subscribed, and I guess he left, and he came back to the Meanie Army, so we're glad to have you back. Thank you so much. Draco Pool is not a new subscriber, but he comments a lot on my videos, and his comments are pretty funny, so I appreciate you. A big shout out to Cristiano Gris, who always comments as well, and new subscriber Bjarnar Erlingsson. I'm assuming that's German or Swedish or somewhere along those lines, but thank you, sir. A new subscriber, Cenocephalus, thank you. Philip Carr, thank you. Skorbaka, I think is also a relatively new subscriber. Solo RPG guy has commented on a couple videos. I appreciate it. New subscriber Oliver Leith, thank you for subscribing. Jonathan Baldridge has been on subscriber for quite a while, and I appreciate him. He always has thoughtful and insightful comments, so I really appreciate it, and I enjoy it when he comments. Corey Bass, also another subscriber. Let's see, new subscriber Shannon Bingham, thank you. Dungeon 90, also another new subscriber. As you can see, we had quite a few in the last couple of weeks. This is 3 weeks ago. And then Torferith had made a comment, and it was TL semicolon DR. This RPG it was talking about what's old is new. I didn't know what TLDR meant. Too long, didn't read, or in this case, didn't listen. And so we went back and forth, and he finally explained to me what it means, and I was like, that's amazing, because I've seen it, I've just never paid attention to it, didn't know what it meant. So Torferith, thank you so much. I hope I think I posted an in-depth review of what's old is new, so hopefully you found that. I also have to give an honorable mention to one of my subscribers. For the life of me, I can't find a comment, but he had made a comment on one of my videos, and he had said that I had not given him a shout out, and he had just joined. I can't find the comment. YouTube does not make it easy to search through comments. You actually have to go through every video and go through every comment on every video. And I know it was a recent video. I went back and I looked this morning before I started trying to record this, and I couldn't find the comment. So I don't remember who it was. If you know who you are, shoot me a message, jpolak@gmail.com, or put a note on this video. I try to respond to every comment. Again, I do apologize. I'm a bad Mr. Mean. But those are the latest subscribers to Mr. Mean Speaks, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. And if you got here from another subscriber, give them a shout out in the notes. Just say, hey, Torferlif sent me, or Sabako sent me, or whatever. Because who doesn't like hearing their name on the interwebs in a good way? So I appreciate all you subscribers. You guys are awesome. So, and always like and subscribe, right? Tell your friends. Let's grow the mini army. I'm 709 subscribers as of today. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. I apologize. So, last week was my birthday. I turned a ripe old 53. I think I look pretty good for 53. Got a little bit of a spare tire, but you know what? That's a playground for my son to jump around on, and I don't mind having it. I'm pretty healthy. I just had a physical, glowing results. I'm waiting for my blood work. I'll do that next week, I think. But my good buddy Brian sent me this for my birthday, because he knows I'm a sucker for unique things. And a quick shout out, if you're a budding RPG designer or publisher and you want your stuff reviewed, feel free to send me either physical copies or PDFs. I prefer physical copy because I'm old and reading on the computer, and I do it all day at work. I don't want to do it at home, but I understand cost, and I feel bad if designers and publishers who aren't, well-to-do, I don't want you spending extra money to send something to me. But if you have the monetary means and you want to send physical product for me to review, I am totally happy with it. And I love to review stuff that people send me. Obviously, it gives me cool content for the channel, but it also gives me cool things to use in my RPGs and games that I run. So obviously, it's awesome. But Fantasy City Sights and Scenes by Phillip Reed. This was published this year. I'll put it up there so you can get the ISBN off of it. You can pause the video. But it says, welcome to the city. Fantasy City Sights and Scenes is a systemless resource for the busy game master who is in search of inspiration and ideas. With 16 different detailed locations, as well as a selection of possible city scenes, this 48-page book is the perfect addition to any GM's library. My friend, they are not lying. Phillip Reed has been in the industry for years. He's done work for just about all of the big companies. There's a little blurb in here about the author. I'm very familiar with his work. He's been in the industry since 1995. He was self-publishing RPG zines and generally trying his hand at creative work since his first work, contributing to West End Games' Star Wars RPG. He's written for several different game lines, handled layout for numerous RPG books, and has spent far too many hours on false starts on projects that never saw the light of day. Phillip spends his days and too many early mornings as CEO of Steve Jackson Games, where he is responsible for getting out of the way and allowing the staff to create fabulous projects without unnecessary interference. This is, first of all, the art in it is fantastic. I'm not sure how he licensed the art, if he just used Creative Commons or anything. Let's see, most of the artwork under license from Shutterstock.com, created by Alex Mitt, Algol, Kamikawa, I.R. Stone, Julia Tocchini, can't say it, Constantinin G. Anyways, a whole bunch of names here I can't pronounce, but it's Shutterstock.com did the art for this. I'm assuming Phillip and his people did the layout, but the art in here is fantastic. I would recommend this. I don't know what the retail price on it is because, like I said, it was a gift for my birthday. I can't imagine it being too terribly much. If I can find a link on Amazon or Drive Through RPG, you can use my affiliate link and you can go search for it. Like I said, I don't know how my buddy Brian got it, but the art in here is pretty solid. I'm going to find the one piece of art that I really, really like. It was very snazzy. And of course, now that I wanted it, I can't find it because that's how it works, right? You're looking for, there it is. I really like that picture of the armored skeleton zombie. Oh, that's a skeleton. Well, it's a zombie. He's got some meat on him. What is neat about this is it gives you, there's bars, taverns, houses. Let's see, there we go. So you can see there, and it gives you a blurb. This is system. It's systemless, so obviously it's not for D&D, it's not for Pathfinder, it's not for GURPS, but yet it is, because there is no game mechanics in here. It's all fluff. They give you some hooks. They give you nighttime scenes, daytime scenes, all kinds of stuff. Temple of the Cosmic Light. You know, you want to add monks. You got that one player that's dying to play a monk in your fantasy game. Now you can add them a temple. There's all kinds of story hooks in here. A place to seek adventure. You know, there's a little blurb right here, and it's just, the art is pretty good. They give you a picture of the house. You know, and if you're into any kind of scenery making or anything like that, this would be a nice little inspiration guide, so to speak. There's not miniatures, but there's all kinds of, like, there's obviously that's some Gothic terrain. You know, anything from Games Workshop for Fantasy Line would work. There's all kinds. The Caster's Rest. This one's really neat. I might use this in my game. It's basically a tavern that is set up by this high-level mage, and he allows former students to stay there for like a day or two for free, and then after that he charges them. But if you're a former student and you've got a player in your game that wants to be a mage or a sorcerer, and he wants to, you know, this is a great hook to tie him into a city. You could propose this to the player, and if they agree, he or she could say that, you know, she's from here, from the Caster's Rest, you know, in your Pathfinder, GURPS, whatever game you're using. And it's also a great place for like seeking knowledge, and gives you all kinds of hooks, information. There's like merchants' houses. There's thieves, like, I don't want to say guilds, but there's thieves areas where you could work it around a guild and stuff. There's merchants and bazaars. There's adventures, all kinds of, not adventures, but adventure hooks. Each little blurb or whatever, each little section will give you a place, either a house or a warehouse, a market stall, you know, a tavern, an inn, and it'll give you some sort of little hook or several hooks for an adventure. Or adventure ideas. So if one of your players bails and you can't run your leveled adventure that you were going to run for your Pathfinder or your D&D, you could just whip this up real quick, and it gives you a lot of great ideas. So big shout out to Bri. This is awesome. I plan on using it very heavily in my Pathfinder game. I've already got a number of ideas, and it's really good for just that. Flip through it and go, ooh, you know, the home of Hulda Schnell. And Hulda is a ghost who can't, she was, you know, you got to read it. I'm not going to ruin it, but she's a ghost that lives in this house. And so It could be the haunted house. It could be the house that maybe your players rent and they find out there's a ghost in it. There's all kinds of cool stuff you can do with this. So very cool stuff. And like I said, it's only like 48 pages, softback. It's glued. Phillip Reed, if you've been in the gaming industry for a while, you know who he is. He makes great stuff. So this is definitely a buy in Mr. Mean's book. I think he has one or two other books. Brian mentioned to me that he was reading another book in this vein. So I'm going to have to look and see if I can find those, because I definitely would like to add them to my library. This is definitely a buy in Mr. Mean's book. And I'm pretty sure it's on DriveThruRPG, but I have not looked. I don't even know what the retail price of it is. Like I said, I got it as a birthday present, and I just think it's tacky to go look up the price. But I guess I'm kind of have to if I'm doing a review of it. If I find a link on DriveThru, I'll throw it in the doobly-doo down below. So definitely want you to check that out. That's definitely where, if you're a GM struggling for ideas or for locations in your game, that's a big help. And I think he has one for other areas as well. So definitely check it out. So, and again, big shout out. Thank you to Bride. Love you, brother. Hope all is well in your world. Peace, love, and hair grease, as Mr. Mean says. And then the other thing we're going to go over real quick, Pathfinder Bestiary 2. And as some of you know, I'm currently running a Pathfinder second edition campaign. I'm really, really enjoying the action economy system. I like the mechanics. I like the downtime mechanics. Our players because of COVID, we couldn't play for about 3 months. We finally got back together. And so what I said is that whole 3 months is downtime. And they were able to, when we got back, we sat down around the table, we made some rolls, we figured out what everybody was doing. One of the players has a little bit of alchemy, and he can make trinkets and stuff. So he made some items for the players, and it all worked out. He made some rolls, and it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. A little bit of an accounting RPG at that time, your favorite bookkeeping session. But it was a lot of fun. I didn't record it. But I enjoyed it very much, and they enjoyed it. But again, COVID's kicking back up, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to continue to keep playing. So kind of sucks. But it is what it is, and we'll move forward. So, but here's Bestiary 2, and as a GM, I love Bestiaries. I want to get on a little bit of a rant. I've used Amazon for quite a lot of stuff. I buy a lot of things through Amazon just because of the convenience. We don't always look at what convenience costs the world or things around us. And my good buddy Darren had made some observations to me, and he canceled his Amazon Prime. He still gets free shipping. He doesn't get the 2-day free shipping on everything. But if you go over, I think it's $30, you get free shipping on everything anyway. So it made me start to think, and it really hit home yesterday. And the reason I say this is Amazon, I think, this is a rant, so if you don't like it, slide forward. I'm tired of buying books that come damaged. This is a $50 book, $49.99. Some of you may be like, Mr. Mean, you're complaining. It's $50, drop in a hat. I make good money. I work very hard for my money. I'm the sole source of income in my family. I take care of my family. They come first. My hobby stuff comes second. So I don't have as much money to spend on my hobby stuff as I would like to. So when I do spend money out of my own pocket, I want it to mean something. I want it to have some value to me. And when I buy a book and it comes damaged, I'm a little miffed. And now a lot of times you can say, oh, it's the post office fault or UPS or DHL or FedEx or whatever. And a lot of times, yes, you can say that. But when the package comes and it's not properly wrapped, and it's just thrown in a box with a little bit of bubble wrap that's not protecting it at all, the book is going to be damaged. And the first copy, this is my second copy from Amazon. My first copy had a big ding right here where it hit something. The funny part is the box is not damaged at all. The box looked fine. I mean, it was a little, obviously you could tell it had been shipped, but it wasn't beat up, and then this corner down here was crushed. I mean, like a good 1/4 inch of it was crushed in. It luckily didn't affect the pages, and part of that is the way books are made. Books are always made with a slightly larger bit of a cover. You'll see there's a little bit of an overlap, and that's to protect the outward facing spine and the pages of the book. So I filed a complaint with Amazon, and in all fairness, Amazon was amazing. They said bring it, drop it off at Kohl's, or however you want to return it. I choose to do mine at Kohl's because we like Kohl's and we buy stuff from Kohl's, so it gives us an excuse to go check it out. Unfortunately, with COVID and having a 3-year-old, I don't go into a lot of retail stores anymore for the time being. So long story short, I dropped it off at Kohl's. I got they said, hey, we got your drop off. We're sending you another book, and I got it yesterday. Amazing. I mean, this all started at the beginning of this week. I've had 2 books in 5 days time, 4 days time. So that's amazing. But I get this one, and it's even more mangled than the first book. I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, it's not gonna. There you go. You can see the ridges there. The book is dinged up. The back corner is bent a little bit. It's not a huge deal. The bottom is pretty banged up as well. You can see it right there, and you can see it on the back as well. If I hold it up there. So, and you may say, well, John, it's a book. Yes, you're right. It is a book. But as you can see, I put a lot of time and investment in my books and a lot of money. And so I don't want a dinged up book. You look at some of those books are over 30 years old up there, and they're in pristine condition. The reason being I take care of my stuff. And so this annoys me because this is only going to get worse as time goes on, because the cardboard now is structurally weakened, and as the more you flip through it and the more you use it, the more it's going to get mangled. Paizo makes great books. I've never had a problem with like their pages falling out or anything like that. They make top-notch quality stuff. So I don't have any problem about the physical quality of the book. I just have a problem with Amazon damaging my products, that I paid for. And and then the bad part is I went and did a review, and they wouldn't post my review because Amazon's policy is they don't post negative reviews. So if you get something and you have a bad experience, they won't post it, and I think that's shady. I think you as the buying customer should say, oh, okay, well they have these books and they sell them, but Mr. Mean and others are saying that they get damaged in shipping because they're not being packaged very well. Well, that makes Amazon look bad, so they don't want to publish that. I think that's bullshit. I'm sorry. I think that's just not cool. So I'm going to start spending my RPG dollars on either eBay or buying directly from the retailer. I didn't save anything on this. It was $49.99. I paid $49.99 plus tax. I did get free shipping, but I can probably get the same deal from Paizo. As a matter of fact, I think if you go on Paizo's shipping program or their reorder program, you get a little bit of a discount. So I'm going to look into that. There's other methods. Maybe I'll just pick it up at Barnes & Noble's when it comes in, or I'll have Barnes & Noble ship it to me and see how that goes. I mean, yeah, I'm spending a little bit more, or I'll go Game Nerds. Everything I've bought from Game Nerds or Miniature Market has been packaged very well, and I've had no problems. So maybe I'll just wait and buy it through Game Nerds. I may not save as much money. I may not get it as fast, but if it saves me the headache and the stress of dealing with this, then it's probably worth it. So that's just my 2 cents. You guys take it for what you will. If you have similar experiences, put it down in the doobly-doo. I'm sorry for that rant. Let's move forward. So what is this? This is obviously a book for GMs. Players can obviously get use out of it, but I don't like my players having access to the bestiaries or monster manuals. The whole point of playing this game and these role-playing games is like discovery and seeing things you've never seen. And one of the things that Pathfinder does really good is there's a lot of different monsters in here and weird things that you wouldn't normally see, and or have access to. Trying to find one of the weirder ones. Yeah, here's one. The Petitioner. It's a creature. This is a planar creature. When a mortal dies, their soul travels to the boneyard in the outer planes where they are judged by Pharasma, the goddess of the dead. Once they have been judged, their soul is sent on to their final reward or punishment in the afterlife, and in the process of transformed into a creature known as a petitioner. The process grants the soul a new body, one whose shape is the result of the prevailing physiological forces of the plane to which it is sent. The petitioner's memories from their life are typically wiped nearly clean, allowing them to retain only a few hazy fragments akin to half-remembered dreams. Regardless, the petitioner's size, power, or nature in life, they're a medium creature in their afterlife. And that's a petitioner. It's basically some sort of larvae worm, large creature with a face. It's creepy as hell. That is not something you see every day. I didn't even know these things existed. It's a medium-sized creature. It's a planar incarnation, and there's a bunch of different things. I won't go into the stat. It's got a huge stat block. That's 2 pages of a stat block. So it is pretty awesome. There's just creatures in here that you wouldn't think about. And my players are getting ready to go into the jungle, and so I was obviously looking for weird things in a jungle type environment, or things that I think would fit. And what can be better than serpent folk, you know? So this is amazing, and we have all kind. They do an expansion, just all kinds of crazy creatures in here. White Carns and Witchfire. I mean, the Witchfire art is pretty solid. So there is everything in here. Of course, it's presented in the typical Paizo fashion. It's stitch sewn hardback. You get all your index full of all your beasts, your introduction, tell you how to read a creature profile, sidebar icons, a skill, perception, and proficiency, their spells, how to make them elite or weaker adversaries, so you can adjust the creatures, and then just all kinds. The art, of course, is top notch. I'm trying to this Akata. I've never seen that. It reminds me of the demon that was in Hellboy, the first one, and it's kind of similar to that. So, and that might have been the inspiration for it. I don't know, but it's very cool, and it's something I may use in one of my games. And so, if it's something I'm going to use in my game, I don't want my players to necessarily have access to it. And I try to do a good job of describing the monsters in a way that they won't necessarily know what it is right off the bat. Obviously, iconic things like dragons, and gnolls, people are going to know. But, here's like a rock scorpion. If you describe that, once you talk about the tail reaching over with what it looks like a stinger, they're going to know it's some sort of scorpion. But you can leave that up to the very last and prey on the player's phobias and fears, and things like that. The scythe tree is pretty awesome. And like I said, the serpent folks in here. So if you have Bestiary 1, then I think it's almost were creatures, and they show a werebear right there, which is awesome. I think this is a valuable asset to any GM's arsenal. There's lots of good stuff in here. Let's see, in the back, I think they give you, of course, your OGL. There's a full index to tell you everything, creatures by level. So, my players are 5th level, so I can start looking at 5th level stuff, 4th level stuff, 6th level, maybe even 7th level stuff to challenge them with. So it's very useful in that aspect. I do have, I'm not quite sure you can see it there, but oh, you can't see it. It's behind the big red D20. I have the creature cards, and I don't know what oh, there they are. The creature cards. If you haven't seen these are relatively a couple of months ago, right before COVID started. They came out with these. So before we went on hiatus for my local gaming group, they were about to go into the jungles and fight cyclopses. So on the front is a nice picture, and on the back is all your stats that you need for the cyclops. And they come in these nice, 3x5 cards, basically. Kind of glossy. You can write on these with a dry erase. It'll wipe right off. And what I found is I just take a little piece of blue tack and put it right there, and then stick it on up above the top part of my GM screen so that the players can see the image. And then I make my standard little, I've showed you guys before, the little hanging initiative tracker that I use for my my monsters and for keeping track of initiative. I did like all of that, and I do think that this book is a buy. It's $49.99 retail. I paid $49.99 for it plus plus tax. I didn't have to pay for shipping, but again, it's slightly mangled. At this point, I'm just so dissatisfied with Amazon that I'm not going to try to return it a second time. I returned it the first time and got this one as a replacement, but it's just as banged up as the first one. But it's good enough to use. I'm glad I didn't buy the collector's edition cover because I'd have been really miffed if that thing was mangled. But unfortunately, the collector's cover is the red leatherette cover with the gold embossing. And to be honest, I like this cover better. I mean, we see our lizard folks and some creepy crawlies there. There's all different kinds of dragons in here too that expound upon what's in the first bestiary. So if you're a Pathfinder 2nd Edition GM, or you're thinking about being the GM, this is a buy. It's $50 well spent. I'm hoping that they'll come out with the digest size like they did for some of the first edition Pathfinder. I am also pleased if anybody from Kobold Press is watching this, please, 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 for the love of all that's holy, convert your Midgard over to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. The Midgard setting for Pathfinder 1st Edition and for D&D 5th Edition is amazing. It's probably one of my favorite settings outside of the main publisher's setting. I love the Pathfinder setting. I really enjoy it. I'm liking everything. My players are part of the Pathfinder Society, and hopefully when we get back to playing on a more consistent basis, we'll further that whole thing. But the nice part is the Midgard setting is so detailed, and Kobold Press did such an amazing job that I really want to see it ported over to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I did shoot them an email earlier this week asking them if they were going to port it over to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, but I don't know. And I don't know, maybe the holdup could be that Paizo doesn't want a lot of third-party material coming out. I don't know. But anyway, this is definitely a buy in my GM arsenal. There is some unique and very cool critters in here. There's a lot of good information, and it's definitely worth a purchase. So if you can find it at a decent price, Drive-Thru RPG maybe might have it. I just found on Drive-Thru RPG that there is a third-party like line of products for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. I didn't even know there was. So I'm gonna maybe look at some of that stuff on Drive-Thru RPG and see if anything sparks me, and maybe try and pick it up. So look for reviews of that coming. I'm trying to run Simba Room on Demiplane. If you haven't heard of Demiplane, I'll put a link down in the doobly-doo. They have a very active Discord channel, and it's basically a GM finding players, or players finding a GM, or players finding a group thing. They don't host games. They do pay for games. So if you're a GM or a longtime GM and you want to run games and maybe get paid a little bit, you can set your own price. They have no control over what price you set. They do get a cut because they're hosting the service and putting you in touch with people. So they get a minor cut. It's no big deal. I'm looking to run a What's Old is New fantasy game on there, and I'm also looking to run a Simba Room game on there as well. So go on there, Demiplane, and check it out. I'll put links down in the doobly-doo. And I guess that's it for now, guys. Thank you for listening to my ramble, and I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned for some more coming from Mr. Mean. Hopefully another video later on in the weekend, just because I've got a nice 3-day weekend and I'll have some time to do it. And I hope everybody has a great, safe, and sane 4th of July. Peace, love, and hair grease. And remember, as always, Mr. Mean says be nice.